So unless you've been on a remote island stranded and talking to a volleyball, you must have heard about the whole blockchain craze and ICOs and now STOs. And truly, when it comes to innovation in venture finance, all these building blocks and tools that have been in the toolkit, they've really been around, and yeah, they've been iterated in terms of innovation. But until the advent of the initial coin offering, when I first heard that, I thought it was a joke. Until that happened, there really hadn't been a lot of true innovation in venture finance. And starting around 2015, 2016, and really full steam into 2017 and 18, this ICO craze swept the world. And it's kind of a form of crowdfunding. And the idea was, hey, we're going to change the world. We believe in decentralization and democratization and, very idealistic, pretty cool stuff. Put up a white paper, tell people about your project, and then open it up, and then this utility coin, this token, would be purchased, and people could participate in this network and maybe make a bunch of money, so on and so forth. And it dovetailed with the rise of Bitcoin and Ethereum and some of these other ones, which are true utilities. But when it turned out that you looked behind the curtain, sticking with the Wizard of Oz, it turns out a lot of these projects didn't have real substance. And really what it was risk capital in the hope that somebody would take that capital, build the project, and that this would all, live up to the hype and the dream. I'm going to talk about this a little bit later. About $20 billion was raised through 2018. The regulators didn't like it. It turns out a lot of these projects didn't turn out the way they thought. Some people absconded with the money, and the litigation is ongoing. Having said all that, I'm super excited about securities tokens, because that really is something that's going to, I think, change the world. And the idea is that this token is backed by some kind of an asset. It may have a utility. And we're going to get into that. It's an exciting space, and it's one of the tools in the toolkit that you could consider. Now, the question regarding, how do you do a legally compliant security token offering, that's kind of being worked out as we speak. So what's happening is many jurisdictions are in a battle, really, to try and become the crypto nation or the crypto valley. I live in Switzerland. We have the crypto valley. They're doing a good job of marketing it. Lots of other nations are adopting regulations that are more or less friendly. I go to these events all the time. Malta, Gibraltar, Liechtenstein. The United States has issued some guidance about what they would expect. And there's a lot of different jurisdictions that are competing to attract these deals. The idea is it's a high value thing. Now, how you do it? You do it very carefully. It turns out it's expensive, and it turns out it's actually not that different than doing an initial public offering. There are some benefits over doing an initial public offering, but the tried and true way of disclosing what you're doing so people understand the merits and the risks, and complying with the relevant laws, securities and other laws in the jurisdictions where you're going to try and sell these, and getting a listing on an appropriate exchange so that there is liquidity. It turns out this sounds like an IPO, and in many ways it's similar, but in many ways it's different. And the players within this ecosystem are evolving from the ICO advisors to STO advisors to, maybe you start to see some of the more reputable investment banks entering the space, probably not immediately, but relatively quickly. And it really is an exciting time, and it's worthy, to be honest, of an entire masterclass in and of itself. As an additional side note, for what it's worth, I'd like to mention that I have a view regarding these ICOs and STOs and how a responsible entrepreneur would go about selecting the advisors, and I would say very carefully. Because if you want to do this and not get in trouble in any jurisdiction, it's actually quite a complicated matter. And so there are people who are developing this expertise in various jurisdictions. I have personally attended blockchain conferences in multiple countries, and so you might find that this capability exists with a small or medium-sized firm within that country, which is great. They may be more entrepreneurial and the fees might be a little better. But you're talking about conducting a global offering. And so it gets complicated because even though you're incorporated in like Gibraltar or Malta or Liechtenstein, and then the question is, okay, where can you sell the securities? How do you passport the thing? And trust me when I say it's complicated. And you want to be very careful that you pick legal advisors that know what they're doing and have relationships, in the other jurisdictions where you want to be able to sell the deal. And also have, relationships with the people who market these, because right now the traditional investment banks don't touch them. So you do need to rely on some others who have filled the vacuum, which is a big vacuum, to make sure that these can be marketed appropriately and also take advantage of the benefits of the blockchain. So the blockchain at the end of the day, big deal, but the STO needs to fit within, to a certain extent, a lot of the old ways of doing business. And then, of course, the regulatory structures are being modified and adapted to accommodate the new way.